Can you hear it? Ooh. Freudian slips. That was
Hello.
my intro today. Hi, Danny.
How are you doing?
Good. I'm really excited. I'm really not like a Halloween person, and I've just been loving art. I've been loving this series. I've been loving the weather. I've been really into it this year. So I'm in a great mood.
Good. You're not a Halloween person? Like, not that I expected you to be. I love
No. I got pumped last year. It's our first time having a house. And so I just felt like trick-or-treaters were more likely to come than when we lived like in an apartment. And like,
it.
I don't know why, but I got crazy pumped for trick-or-treaters. Like, I think I just live for like those little kids that are so like, some were like very scared, but some were just so stoked. And they were like, trick-or-treat, like just, I live for that. And like giving them candy. And they were so sweet. Everyone that lives around here, they would literally, these little kids took like a singular piece of candy. We bought like 2 Costco-sized bags, and we live in like a small suburb. We're like, please, no, like handfuls, child, handfuls. And they were so uncomfortable. And I was
Really?
like, what kind of children are these? I'm like just putting it in their bag for them. I'm like, hi, mom and dad, like take the candy. And the kids like, so I think I was more excited than them. But so I love that. But no, I don't like scary movies. I don't know. Maybe it's like the Latin in me. Like I don't mess with dead people. I don't want to play around with that. I don't want to watch shows about it. I'm like, don't mess with that stuff. It'll come and get you. I don't like that. So no. But for some reason this year, I love how into it. Like, I love the theme you created for us. I love the little logo change. I love like just leaning into it. The weather has also just finally turned a little bit and we got some rain. So I think I'm also I need summer to be done. It's been very hot for me.
Yeah, I'm done with summer.
Or you seem more like a Halloween person.
I do.
I think so. More than me, maybe.
Like, I accept that. Like, that's
Yeah.
true.
But I mean, I don't see you turning on Hocus Pocus on October 1st and being like, spooky season, you know?
I did. No.
You did?
I
Was that a
did
joke?
watch Hocus Pocus. No, I did watch
Oh.
Hocus Pocus recently. It's a good movie.
On October 1st. It is a good movie, but on October 1st.
No, like, I love Halloween. I love the season. I love the decorations. I'm not like into all that like witchcraft, voodoo, satanic stuff. No, but I just love the feel. I don't know. Like, I really kind of picked up on it in high school because like my friends were really into it, and it was a nice time for us to like get together and like we could go trick or treating. And so I think like we did that one year. But yeah, it's just fun. I just love it. I think it's great.
Right? It is fun. I think it's grown on me more over the years. Christmas is kind of starting to go down. And I think the like Halloween-esque, like more fall holidays are starting to move up. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
I love the fall. The other thing is, I think, is that when the fall happens, I think this might actually be a pretty significant contributing factor, is that as it gets colder, I can be outside more. Like, I can be outside during the day because it's not as hot and there's not as much sun, like for my eyes.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think especially coming off of a summer, fall just really hits me in like
Well,
such
and
a,
like an LA summer.
yeah.
Fall must be very nice for
So
you.
I am ready to go outside. And so I think that just adds to like anything that happens during the fall is like my extra favorite.
Oh, I love that. And now your fall as a dad, I feel like is fun. I know she is still very little, but like, you can take her to stuff or show her like it's her first Halloween. That's
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Over the weekend, we went to her sister's house and we were supposed to go to a pumpkin patch, but that completely just fell off. We ended up watching scary movies at their house and that was fun. But yeah, like I think we're going to try to go to a couple of pumpkin patches this year. And I'm excited about that.
I do love a pumpkin patch. We bring my sister's dog dressed in bat wings, but I do love a pumpkin patch. My dogs would piss on everything and it'd be a mess. I'm not bringing them to a pumpkin patch. Bitches can stay home. They don't know what they're missing out on. But no, I do love a good pumpkin patch.
Are we ready to get into today's episode?
I am so ready.
Awesome. Well, this is Freudian Slips, right? The place where we get to talk about the shrinks, kinks, and things of the mental health field. And today, we're actually going to be walking into the darker corners of psychology. I'm super excited. In the spirit of Halloween, we're going to be talking about some surprised Ollie with this last week, and I'm so happy that she got like into it because now these next couple of episodes we're going at it together. This time I'm going in a little blind. I have no idea what you're going to share with me. I hope that it's a spooky and chilling condition. Who's going first? Is it going to be you or is it going to be me?
I don't know. Who do you want to go first?
I kind of want you to go first.
Okay, I can go first. I will say I have an honorary mention because I think I stumbled upon something that is close to what I was talking about last week. Where if you
Okay.
were in or if you've listened to last week's episode, I mentioned to Danny that I have met multiple clients who have this condition where they specifically feel like there's like these serpents like living inside of them. It's always kind of serpenty or snakes. So this isn't exactly that, but there is something I stumbled upon called Ekbom syndrome. I think that's how you say it, or it's delusional paratosis. And it is a mental health condition where a person falsely believes that their body is infested with living or non-living agents. Common examples are parasites, insects, or bacteria. And it's a delusion to the belief that people are like, it can be incredibly dangerous, I guess. And people can be like scratching at themselves, trying to get these things out. I don't know if that's like the closest one I stumbled upon to the thing I mentioned last week. But I was like, also talk about creepy. So I was like, that's my honorable mention is Ekbom syndrome.
I imagine that because recently, like I've been getting a little bit more into like what's the word? Apothecary?
I've heard of that. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what it means.
Just like natural remedies, home remedies. Like that's not what that
Apothecary?
word means. Thank you. Like yeah, that's not what that word means, but like that thing. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
And so yeah, one of the things, so I got this really cool, neat book that like lets you kind of make your own little tinctures and stuff and potions and lotions, butters and creams. And I was like, okay, great.
You said you didn't know if you were that into Halloween? Doing potions and tinctures over there?
And so one of them was actually a thing. It's like what is it? It's like papaya seeds and like honey, which like side note, papaya is the worst fruit. It tastes and it smells like barf.
Papaya is weird. If you get a really good one, it hits. Anything else, it does taste like barf and smell like barf. I attest.
Well, according to this book, papaya seeds can help like remove parasites or like parasite eggs in the body. And so and I was even doing a little bit of research and it's like, oh yeah, if you've ever touched a doorknob, if you ever like anything, then you probably have like a few parasites in your body. It's like it makes sense, you know?
That's legitimately how people get parasites in them?
The world's dirty. The world's a dirty place.
Like, are germs different than parasites? Like,
Yeah.
just touching a doorknob, parasites can like enter your body?
Well, again, like the world's a fucking dirty place. I'm not saying that like parasites live on doorknobs, but it was an example, hyperbolic or not. And yeah, and so there are like having parasites in your body is a thing that people are aware of or that people are concerned about. And so I can imagine that have like either being very preoccupied or kind of like delusional about this. I wonder like just the things that people are putting in their body to flush them out, right? Imagine if someone's actually struggling with this. This could actually be a huge issue. This could probably lead to something like, bulimia or anorexia. If people
Ugh.
or worse, like people are ingesting things that they should not be ingesting because they're convinced that they're trying to flush these things out, right? If they're
Yeah.
enemas or just like very strong laxatives. My goodness, this one actually is like pretty scary.
Oh my gosh, this is, and I almost, now that we're talking about it, I guess this is like the worst place to put a, what's it called when you give like a warning? I don't know if any of these things are like triggering to people or that was
It's a little
literally
bit.
one of the words that we used, in our buzzwords episode. But like, I don't know if we should put a warning at the beginning of this as an aside, because I don't know if hearing about some of these things, or you know how there's like those people that are so fearful of like holes, and there's that condition where it's like, I don't know if just mentioning stuff like bugs, like the sensation of having bugs crawling under your skin. What?
Oh my god, what is it called?
It's one of the biggest reactions I've ever seen you have.
Do you know what trypophobia is?
Yeah, that's the whole one, right?
Yeah, the one with like the
The
lotus.
trichotillomania thing.
Trichotillomania is like when you like pull your hair or like skin
Oh,
tick or
no,
like
this is the whole one.
yeah,
The fear of holes.
yeah, like on the like that
That
flower
plant.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lotus. Yeah,
Oh my
that or it could be anything. Like just anything with that whole like
yeah.
pattern. Like
That
freaks people
got
out.
me.
Oh,
That
like
skin crawl.
wait, really? You're one of them?
Well, I like I can snap myself out of it. Like I'm not avoiding places with holes,
But it
but
freaks you out?
yes, especially like when they like overlay it onto like normal things. Like if you overlay it onto your skin, oh my goodness. Ugh.
Have you there's see it's like I get this weird fascination out of there's like a frog or something that's how they lay its eggs. It's like in its back.
Oh yeah,
And
for
so
sure.
when the frogs or the little tadpoles or whatever when they come out, they are popping out of holes in its back. And that's how it looks. Or I don't know if you've ever I don't know why you would have if you ever watched tonsil stone removal videos.
Is it weird that I have?
Yes, thank God. I knew we were soul sisters. I love it. I don't know what it is. I love watching things come out of holes. I get such a release. It's some people's worst nightmare, and I'm just like, oh, it's before bed. I can't sleep. Let's find a good tonsil stone removal video. But see,
No.
I feel like at the beginning, maybe we should just mention that we talk about these things or put in a little like, hey guys, just pop it in. I don't know if this freaks some people out to even talk about it. Because that's like when people talk about surgeries or like blood or needles, anything. Me and my sister are the exact same. I can't hear it. It like freaks me out. My like heart rate goes up. I have like a fear of these things, even just like hearing about it. And now I'm that embarrassing therapist at the doctor that just goes in and I'm like, hi, I just want to let you know I get a lot of anxiety around these things, and I'm just going to be breathing deeply and talking to myself during our like blood draw. And they're like, okay. And I'm just like, I am okay. Everything is okay. I can see the door and I am okay. My feet are touching the ground and I am okay. Like, I'm an idiot in these situations. So there are people out there that I don't want to pretend like, oh no, what if one of our 15 listeners is really scared of holes or bugs?
Or some of the other things that we're about to talk about.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. So sorry. We should put a thing at the beginning. But now, are you ready for the one I have today?
Okay. Oh, by the way, we never actually did it. So trigger warning, if you've made it this far, we've already scarred you. So if
Sorry.
there's anyone left, yeah, the things that we're going to be talking about today might activate the imagination in an unpleasant way.
Yes. And so please feel free to skip forward or don't listen if it's too creepy for you. Or like if anything just is like, ugh. Also, though, how crazy if you're just like listening to our random ass podcast and you start to feel that. I think that would also just be interesting to analyze in oneself. If they weren't expecting it and they're like, oh, weird, like that is really gross to hear about, or like, ugh, like, I don't know. I think then that's also interesting. And maybe you should dive into that or process that somewhere because that's fascinating also.
And then email us when you're safe.
And then even if they're nice emails, only please full time. It's a good ambiance. Don't ruin it for us. Nice emails, please. Okay, but Danny, the name is gonna kind of give it away. But have you ever heard of alien hand syndrome?
I actually have, but tell me
God
more.
fucking damn it!
Yeah.
Why? It's rare. What do you mean you have?
I mean, no, this is the first time I've ever hearing about it. What is alien hand syndrome?
God, just chop my tree down. Jesus. Okay. Alien hand syndrome. I also find it funny. The abbreviation is AHS. That was my high school. So I don't know why I find it entertaining. Okay. Alien hand syndrome is a rare neurological disorder characterized by involuntary yet seemingly purposeful limb movement with partial or absent awareness. And the affected person may sometimes reach for objects and manipulate them without wanting to do so, even to the point of having to use the controllable hand to restrain the alien hand. And the occurrence of alien hand syndrome can be usefully conceptualized as a phenomenon reflecting a functional disentanglement between thought and
Mm-hmm.
how crazy is that? Also, there is a different rare disorder called alien limb syndrome, which is actually, it could be your legs too. And it is sad, but there was one woman who just was stuck walking in. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm really sorry. She was She was stuck walking in circles.
I love how as soon as you broke, I know exactly what you're gonna say. We're right here. We're right here right now.
I'm actively crying if you're not watching this on Spotify. Oh my god. I feel really bad, but like imagine how scary.
This is a
Imagine
serious
how
thing.
scary that would be if you were stuck walking. Okay, sorry. I'm getting it together. Oh my god. Okay. But so this syndrome was first discovered. Oh my god. Okay. Sorry. This was first discovered in 1908 by, I don't know if he was a psychiatrist, psychologist, but this guy Goldstein first discovers it in a case where a woman's left hand acted against her will and attempted to strangle her. Yeah. Yeah. So there's cases where like so it's common that like the alien hand or the alien limb, but it's mostly we're saying alien hand will like actively try and sabotage the like hand you have control of. So there's cases where someone like will button a shirt and then the alien hand will go behind it and unbutton the shirt. Or someone who smokes, the alien hand came and like took the like will put the cigarette out. Like it can try to sabotage and it can try to hurt you. People have reported it tries to like slap them in the face, punch them, strangle them. Like it can be violent.
Wow. That I didn't.
Yeah. And also it really makes me wonder how you can kind of like to be able to diagnose it as alien hand, like how do you truly know? So sorry, I should also mention there's like not a lot of info on this. There's like they think a few hundred cases ever reported, but there's no data or like international like giant research studies because they don't it's not common enough. Like it's so rare. And so I just don't understand how you could like say that it's actually alien hand versus like some other disorder where you believe you like don't have control over it but you do. And again, this isn't to negate people that really have this. I really wonder how they decide if it's truly alien hand, especially when there's only a few hundred cases. Like could you imagine feeling like there was one where someone was driving and the alien hand tried to take over the wheel. Like that's insane. Feeling like a part of your body isn't in your own control.
I'm sorry. You keep holding your hand.
Because I'm representing alien hand. Imagine if you're like stop it. Especially with my nails.
Yeah.
What if I took an eye out? And then imagine you go to the doctor and you're like, this is going to sound insane. I have alien hand syndrome. It looks like I poked my own eye out, but I didn't. This motherfucker is crazy. Like, imagine trying to explain this to anyone.
It wasn't me. It was him.
Yes. Yeah. This bitch, Stephanie. Sorry for anyone out there if your name is Stephanie. I have nothing against the name. But yeah. Spooky. Also, aliens. Spooky.
Yeah.
So I was like, talk about a combo.
Damn. Like, I did do a little bit of research into that just because, like, this stuff, I just love this stuff. I heard that one of the most common treatments for alien hand syndrome is literally to make it hold something.
We'll get there. So yes. Where also I find it interesting. So like when do we see this? So it tends to be in cases where a person has had the two hemispheres of their brain surgically separated.
What?
I know.
You're gonna have to tell me that one more time. What?
Okay, so the most common ways that this is seen is when someone has the two hemispheres of their brain surgically or non-surgically. Some people, I guess, are born where their brain hemispheres are not connected or just like not connected correctly. So it could be that you're born that way. But most cases are when someone's two hemispheres are surgically separated.
I can't imagine a scenario in which you would have to have them surgically separated.
Well, let me tell you, that's what I thought too. I'm like, when the hell does that happen? Well, the internet has told me someone's brain hemispheres would be separated due to a surgical procedure called a corpus calostomy, which is performed to treat severe medication-resistant epilepsy by severing the corpus callosum to stop seizure activity from spreading between the two hemispheres.
Holy shoot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. And so I
Epilepsy.
guess
Other scary thing by itself.
right? Like that's what, and I actually, once I read it, I was like, oh, I feel like I remember hearing about that before, like maybe in like a brain neurology or like a just neuroscience class, how like people can totally live with it separated and that it's for epilepsy. But like I didn't realize though, I don't know how often that's actually still done. But that sounds incredibly scary. And it also can be linked to cerebral lesions or strokes that affect the right hemisphere of the brain. So again, it has to do with like that then affects the connecting bridge between the hemispheres. And so like the information doesn't cross over or doesn't cross over correctly. And so they really think it's like a disconnection syndrome where your movement is truly like involuntary. And they've seen that they were saying that when you like watch people do movements, you see different things in like their frontal lobe especially like light up, and like the stuff that it requires to like consciously move, you see
For sure.
things lit up. And with something like alien hand, you don't. So it's like it's just like pure impulse. It's not, or like nerve audit, like it's, you don't have any like logical thought over why you'd move it or like connection between the thoughts and the movement. They're like severed. Hence, I guess you see it when your brain is literally split.
Wow. So I like imagine for like some compound movements, like if you had to get, pick up the water bottle, right?
Yeah.
Consciously, you have to think about it. And so like there's multiple regions of the brain that will light up just with that very simple movement. But with alien hand syndrome, you'll notice that other parts just don't light up because it's not being consciously registered, or it's only being that's
Yes. And so granted, the thing that I was reading that specifically was talking about that was like a bajillion page research study that was so incredibly dense that this is my like from the like intro, the kind of dumbed down version that I needed, but it went into like very specific brain pieces and components and like what they normally do, where when it's severed, it's like not activated. But essentially, yeah, it's this like disassociation or disconnection syndrome that they so I wonder, it doesn't seem that that's actually how they diagnose it, but I wonder, like at least it does seem like something you could see, or if you like connected people to some kind of, I don't know, EEG, I don't know, one of those things that tracks brain kind of like stimulation. I wonder if you could like, it seems like you'd actually be able to see it. So maybe I answered my own question about like how would you know, because it actually does seem like you'd be able to see if this is something someone can actively think about, or at least if the thoughts are connected to the movement versus if thoughts or things in your brain are not connected to the movement.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But like, how crazy, right? Like super creepy. And then also, yeah, so like can be linked to stroke, certain type of Parkinson's, or people that have had that procedure done. Treatment options. So it seems like there's different approaches to treatment. There's medications. So there's like injections that can be done that paralyze the muscles affected. So hence if they're paralyzed, I guess they can't just like go rogue on you. Also, it says anticonvulsants or benzodiazepines might help control involuntary movements. There's therapies to address like the psychological component. So cognitive behavioral therapy can help people manage the psychological effects. Occupational therapy can teach people like strategies to compensate. Mirror therapy can almost be like phantom limb, where you like use a mirror to help like train the hand to do what the other hand is doing. So like those are different approaches. And then in rare cases, surgery might be necessary to sever the nerve connections, which sounds insane. And then other interventions are splinting or bracing the affective hand to like prevent the involuntary movements, or using a cane or something else that you can hold that can help compensate for the lack of control over the hand. So I guess that's why the holding something helps, because it like gives it a job. And it's
Yeah,
kind of like can do that instead of
whatever
choking you.
else it's doing.
Yeah. Instead of trying to sabotage you getting dressed.
Well, you mentioned Parkinson's, and like that's kind of where my head went. It reminded me of, do you know the comedian Josh Blue? Quick Google search. Josh Blue he's a funny comedian, but he also has cerebral palsy.
Okay.
And like his arm is like
Yeah.
constantly doing its own thing.
Yeah.
And so like I wonder if there's a connection between like alien hand syndrome and something like, Parkinson's and cerebral palsy. But then I would also be really interested to understand like the distinct difference. Like what is one versus the other? Because what you're discussing, like, yeah, Josh Blue, his arm is definitely on its own, doing its own thing, has its
Yeah.
own, but it's also not as, like, mobile
Yeah.
as what you're describing alien hand syndrome to be.
I think of grip strength. I mean, granted, this is obviously us as not medical professionals or people who study Parkinson's, but I'm wondering too, the people I have known with Parkinson's, and granted, I think it's at a certain stage, but like at some point, I don't know if they'd have the ability to like hold something with their hand. Like, I don't
Mm,
know if they could hold and actually grip like a cane or if like the buttons. I don't know if they could physically do like buttons with one or both hands. So I wonder if a part of it too is that you're still fully, that hand is still fully capable. The limb is still working such as a normal limb would. It's just like doing its own thing versus something like Parkinson's, which I don't know if is that considered a degenerative
I
disorder?
think you're right. As soon as you mentioned, like, the whole buttons and holding stuff, it kinda clicked for me. Like, one, I think I don't know if it's a degenerative, but I do understand it to be, whereas, like, alien hand syndrome is a severing, right? But 2 things are kinda just working, they're still functioning,
Yeah.
it is independent of one another, whereas, something like Parkinson's and I guess cerebral palsy, I think Parkinson's is degenerative. Is Parkinson's degenerative?
Right? Because I would imagine if cerebral palsy, I'm just trying to think of if degenerative's like you're kind of losing it over time. That's what
Mhm.
it seems like happens in cerebral palsy. So I'd be curious. But that's a great point, right? And that's like how before I was saying, like, how do you know? So it sounds like there's other physical illnesses that this could look like, and there's also other psychological illnesses that this could kind of look like. And so I wonder if that's why there are such few diagnoses because it could I can see how it can so easily fall in a different category or just under something else that is not just on its own this like alien hand syndrome.
For sure. So I have right here, cerebral palsy is not a degenerative condition.
Oh,
It
okay.
is a non-progressive neurological disorder that affects movement due to brain damage that occurs before, during, or shortly after birth.
Whoa.
Which I guess makes sense. Now that, like, yeah, that makes sense because if I think about degenerative, almost like Alzheimer's,
Mhm.
like there's definitely a decline with age. But when I think back to like Josh Blue, the comedian, like he's still kicking, he's doing great. It's not like his mobility is getting worse.
And so it sounds like they tend to get it as kids, like at a very, very young age. I had no idea. I didn't know if it was something you could just like develop in your 20s or your 30s.
Well, again, it's like brain damage. So who knows? Like you get into an accident, right? Something bad
Wow.
happens, maybe. Damn.
But yeah, so you got 2 today, but my main one, alien hand syndrome.
No, it's fine.
Crazy. If you are fearful that you might catch it, it sounds incredibly rare, and I hope that you also just God, epilepsy on its own. That one's not fun. But like or I mean, that's not like some fun, cool name that's like, "Woohoo," but like, holy shit, epilepsy. I don't wish anything really on anyone, but like epilepsy sounds like it'd be incredibly horrifying. And so it sounds like as long as you do not have any kind of condition where you might need a separation of your brain hemispheres and or again any kind of like just brain damage that might lead to something like this, it seems incredibly rare that something like this would happen to someone.
Yeah, thank goodness. Thank our lucky stars. I'm
Yeah.
just happy that I don't have brain damage. Do you know how many times I've been hit in the head?
No, why have you been hit in the head?
Sidebar story. I have been hit in the head so many times.
You didn't
So,
play like football or anything.
no, I wasn't cool. No. Thanks for reminding me. Anyways, so I was a chubby baby. I was a thickums. I was a thick
Thickums. That's the best term I've ever heard.
Yeah, I was so big that I needed pillows behind me or else I would just roll over.
Oh my
Um
gosh.
So, but I have she's still around. I have a wonderful older sister, and she was very maternal. And so the legend goes that we were hanging out in the garage, and my dad, he was sexy at one point because he had like a Bowflex machine or something. And so we're hanging out in the garage, I think. Whatever. This could be all made up. I don't know. Because I got hit in the head. So she tried to pick me up, but because I was too big, I don't think that she could like carry me. And so she, I fell and I actually hit my head, and it must have been something sharp because even to this day, I have like a bald spot on my head. Like I don't grow hair like keloid over. And yeah, just cracked my noggin, and that was number one. Number two is it was an elementary school in the after school program. And don't ask me how or why, because that is a story for another day. I was in a rock fight. Okay, moving on. We're moving on.
Kids are so stupid. No question. Just to stay. Like, am I surprised at all? No.
Moving on. Rocks were thrown,
Oh my God.
and I was fine. What had happened was we had taken a break. No one got hurt. It was totally fine. And then one kid gets a bee sting. I know.
A bee sting at a rock fight?
I know, right? Who would have thought the thing that took him out was a fucking bee? But being the caring and empathetic person that I am, is I went to go check on him. I'm like, oh, hold on, guys. Let's get serious. All right. Someone got hurt. And so
Nothing has changed. You are still said person.
so I go up to him and I check, and then all I hear is like, watch out. I don't know why. Like someone didn't hear the ceasefire. I don't fucking know. But I look up to a freaking meteorite that was coming down, and the rock was like probably like this big. I don't
Oh
know
my
how it
God.
got so much air, and I don't know why someone lobbed it. The war was over, but it cracked me just like right smack. The next thing I know, I'm in the bathroom with my head in a sink. Again,
Bad. You
at
like
the
got knocked out by a rock?
yeah, like my sister, again, she makes another appearance here. My older sister, we were both in the after school program. She's only like 2 years older than me. So there was a time where we were at the same school. She had taken me into the girls' bathroom and like shoved my head under a sink to wash the blood out. I got suspended.
You got suspended?
Yeah, I got suspended for like a week. That is number two.
Can we talk about how the school system hates brown kids? No, not right now? Okay, that's fine.
Really, that
Danny's
was a
brown.
racial
That's
thing.
why. You're brown. Stupid. I hope whoever suspended you realizes they're a dumbass. All right, sorry. Number three.
Number three is so over the summer, I would help my dad. And I use that word very loosely because I had allergies. So really, my dad just took me to work and things didn't happen. And then he would just get frustrated and take me back. But during one of those trips, my sister, appearance number three, I promise she's not at fault for all of these. She's only at fault for the first one. And even then, that was very circumstantial.
Did you see who threw the second rock? Just kidding.
Right? That was her. It all makes sense now.
Our first email is someone being like, I really hate to break this to you guys, but Danny's sister's been
I
trying
threw
to
the
kill him
rock.
forever.
She was in summer school, and so my dad and I had to go pick her up. So we're in an old Chevy pickup truck, right? The one with
Great car.
just the bed,
Yep.
right? No back seat, no nothing, just nothing but like bench and window. And so we're at a full stop, and next thing you know, we get rear-ended by a tow truck.
What?
So we get hit, and then obviously because of the
Yeah.
seatbelt, our heads ricochet back, and
Oh.
we slam our heads through the window.
Through the window?
Through the window. And so I got out because I was fine. We got out of the car, and then all I hear is just obviously because people are coming out because it was on a like a neighborhood street, not like a main street. There's houses all around, so people come out to see the commotion, and everyone's like, "Hey, kid, like you should sit down." And the entire time I'm like, "I'm fine. It's okay,
Oh
whatever."
God, you're like bleeding out the back of your head.
I don't know why people keep telling me to sit down. I feel fine. Like I just
Oh,
survived.
adrenaline, Danny.
If I want to stand, I want to stand. And then like I feel like something kind of like trickling down my back.
Ew.
I put my hand and I hear a crunch.
Shut. Ew. 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 Ew.
I see nothing but blood and glass.
Ew.
And then I think to
Ew.
myself, I should probably sit down. And so that happened. Number 4.
What the fuck is your life?
Last one,
Then you didn't play football.
right?
You'd be, I don't know if you'd be a therapist.
Yeah. Number 4 is I did a small like camping trip in the desert, and we went on some like quads. The people I went with, they're far more adventurous than I am, and they were going pretty fast, and so I tried to keep up with them. It just went a little bit too fast, and then I ended up just hitting a brush, just like a thick root, just in the earth, and I hit it. I go flying, easy 10, 15 feet away. I turn, I think about my life. It was the slowest descent, and then I just smack the floor. It was sand, but it still hurt. I had a helmet on, but I was feeling a little dizzy for a bit. So all that to say, like, to be sitting here today and just be kind of like doing everything that I do, using my brain as much as I do, like I do genuinely just love everything that I do. And the fact that I've gone through so much of that stuff and still seem to have minimal to no, arguably no damage. I don't know, it depends on who you talk to, I think is a freaking miracle.
Danny, don't look into newer research on brain injuries
Okay.
and like CTE stuff. Lately I've heard, and granted, this is probably because my mom has Alzheimer's, but there's like newer research that's showing that like you don't need to be a football player and get hit like a bajillion times for like any kind of like brain injury to really affect you. And I think some even show like if you have had a concussion, it can like I don't know if like the correct term is like lay dormant, but it's like that could essentially affect you way further on down the line, but show almost like no symptoms or side effects like for a while leading up to that. And even with like my mom's Alzheimer's diagnosis, because she's very young for like the stage that it's at. And I guess they're like, have you ever hit your head? Like, has anything ever happened? And she's had like, I think 1 or 2 like horse incidences when she was younger. She was not even like an avid horse rider, just like super random things. And it happened like once or twice. And these doctors are like, oh, like that makes sense. Like that might be it. And it's like, what? Like this 1 or 2 things that happened when maybe you were like 17 years old or like younger. Like that's insane to me. And so there's like newer research on how they really think it's just like you can't mess with your brain. Like you
Mm,
rattle that thing a few times and you just don't know what's going to happen in there that shows up way later. And granted, I'm sure there's like all these different lifestyle things that we can try and do until then that would help. But also, I think so much of that is unknown, you know?
yeah.
So it just, that stuff scares the crap out of me. I'm very glad you're like, okay, that's insane to me that
Yeah.
I didn't know you got in a car accident like that. That is, I mean, much less all the other stuff, but like, how random. Also, talk about it. That could have ended horribly. Kids
Mhm.
throwing rocks at each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah. Yeah. When I said last week, when I mentioned that I had done electroshock therapy,
Yeah.
it was because of the car accident.
Whoa.
Yeah. It hit us like just they were going, and an old Chevy truck got bent into a V.
Yeah, I love those trucks. I don't know how great their like safety rating was. I mean, they were truly, it was just like metal and
Mm,
then the seat. Like
yeah.
there was not a whole lot else happening in those old dirt trucks. Like that's my God.
We did that like electroshock therapy for about like a month, maybe 2 months. I would
Whoa.
just sit on a bed with just like a bunch of cups on my back and just to like trying to reanimate me like I was fucking Frankenstein.
Whoa. Is that the weirdest kind of therapy? Weirdest, quote unquote. Kind of the most unconventional type of therapy that you've done personally?
Sure, like unconventional, like in a very loose form of the word, because it wasn't like weird by
Yeah,
any
it's
means.
not like voodoo or anything. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
mean compared to maybe like any other treatments you've ever
yeah.
received for anything.
Definitely the most unconventional.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Oh.
why, like, it is one of the big contributing factors why I don't drink, why I never had any kind of inkling to try any kind of substances, because it's like, you know what? Like, this brain is just such a friggin' miracle. Like, it's so delicate. I have just no zero desire to
I
like make that to like want to roll that dice with any kind of substances. Like I just have no desire to do any of that stuff.
How funny. I never knew that. I mean, like, I know that you don't like really drink or do like stuff like that really, but it's so funny. I never really realized like why. I always was just kind of like, I think I have so many friends that don't do it for like literally no reason at all. Just like, oh, just never really cared to. You're like, I don't know. I'd like if I like this kind of drink. So like I'd rather just get that if I go somewhere. I'm like, oh, that's fair. But it's like now when I hear people say that, like no part of me is even like, well, I wonder why. I'm just like, oh, okay. Like I know so many people like that. So how fun, like I didn't realize that that's why you didn't. I just knew you didn't. And I was like, cool.
Yeah, one of the reasons, yeah.
Danny, we learn more about each other all the time.
Our friendship is growing.
Our friendship is growing. There are witnesses to our growing friendship. Wow.
My turn.
Yeah, your turn. That was a wonderful sidebar.
Okay. Damn, I have one more sidebar. Are we just going?
Give it to us.
Do you
What
believe
else
in
are we here
aliens?
for?
Because it ties to yours. Do you believe in aliens?
Fuck yeah. Who doesn't believe in aliens at this point? I actually believe the government has like put out papers being like aliens are real.
Just sticky notes?
No. Like they've like released stuff in the last like handful of years that are like totally validate that we have alien technology and they use it to test things. Also, see now I don't think this is like controversial. I don't think this is conspiratorial at all. Who would think you think out of how big the universe is, our dumbasses are the only things around? Humans? I mean, there's like ants that are like mushrooms that like can take over an ant's brain and then get that ant to walk to like the queen of the colony, die on it, and then it can grow through the queen's brain and like infiltrate. That shit exists, and you think humans, you think us on fucking TikTok are the only thing out here? It's like, come on. I think we're peons compared to what else is out there. I'm scared. I hope they don't try to mess with us. I don't think we should look for them, but I think we should just be nice, stay in your lane. I don't know, plant some trees, do anything that you think is nice for whatever might be out there so that if they ever come one day, you're like, hey, I believed in you. I believed. I tried to plant a few trees. I don't know what else they might be into, but like, I'm trying. Yeah. So it's like, I won't eat meat. So I don't know. I don't know if they're nice. I'm not going to say I know what they are. I'm not going to say they're like the stereotypical little green alien head, but like there are for sure 110% overly confident that they're aliens. Do you believe
Agreed.
they're aliens?
Oh yeah. It makes no sense that we are the only things. Oh yeah, 100%.
Have you heard of Bob Lazar? Look him up. Love him. He's like, it's insane. It is insane the things that people have seen. There's that town in Brazil that they literally landed in. Everyone in the town saw them.
Have you ever heard like Targa?
Targa?
No. I'm saying a half word right now. It's this like microscopic little bear.
What?
Yeah. A tardigrade. So look that up. You guys are getting all the spooky shit today.
Wait, is that related to aliens?
It can be. I don't know.
Wait,
No,
tardigrade?
100% not. So look up on your own time, and not because we said so. You're gonna look up trypophobia, and you're also gonna look tardigrade. So Google tardigrade.
How the hell do you spell that?
TARDI grade.
Okay, this is why I went wrong. Tardigrade. I put tart like a tart. Okay. Yes. I've seen these.
These they're called like bears, like little something bears, whatever.
Okay. I've definitely seen this before.
Yeah, these little microscopic animals, I think these things can like survive space. Because when I was in my undergrad, I had like this graduate assistant that was running a course, and she was freaking obsessed with these things. Like this was her. I was a bio major for context. Like it's not like some kind of psychology nerd that went off the rails. No, as a bio major, there is a course, and this graduate assistant was obsessed with these things, and I think like they can survive space. And so like if these things can survive out there, then there's other things that can survive out
But I just don't believe that cockroaches I've heard can live through. They're the only thing that can live through an apocalypse. Or like if truly like nukes took out the world, there were scientists that think that cockroaches somehow would remain. Bumblebees aren't supposed to be able to fly according to physics. You're gonna tell me. Have you never heard that? According to physics, bumblebees should not be able to fly. They're like wing to body ratio, how fast the wings flap compared to how heavy the body is. Like, it shouldn't be possible.
Oh,
Ew.
how
You're
interesting.
gonna tell me aliens don't exist? How did these ancient civilizations build things that are like identical to each other, that are bajillions of miles apart, or that like only make sense from a crazy bird's eye view? Not that I necessarily believe aliens are in the sky. I think they might be below us, in the oceans, deep in the mountains. Why not?
Twist. Wasn't expecting that one.
Yeah. I mean, have you? Oh my God, Danny. I think anything on aliens ever I've seen. I love it all. And I'm not saying I believe it all. I think some of it's a little woo woo. I think some of it's a little, it's like it's like when you watch things on mediums. Do I
Sure.
think many of them are fake? And a lot of this is like hocus pocus or just like a business? Yes. Does that mean I don't think people see dead people? Absolutely not. Obviously, people see dead people. Like, aliens are out there. I'm not going to pretend like I know where or what they look like or their intentions. But, like, you're going to tell me people a bajillion. You think the pyramids were solely to, like, for a god?
Yeah.
I
I love
mean,
how in sync we are. All right, cool. This
yeah,
just
this
this
is
just reinforced
it's so
our
gross. Send
friendship.
us emails if you also love aliens. Oh my God,
Right.
okay. What's your spooky spook?
My turn. So I think you've also spoiled this for yourself, but
I do think
what
I
I
stumbled upon it when I was looking for mine, but I did not go looking.
okay. So what I'm going to be talking about today is Koro syndrome. Okay. So imagine this, right?
You're so
A
much better at
man
storytelling.
rushes into an emergency room dead of night. He's panicked, sweating, clutching his balls. And he pleads to the nurse, "Help me. This is a part of the it's shrinking. It's disappearing. I'm going to die. This is 100% real." So there's no injuries, there's no physical signs, but in his head, this person believes that his genitals are retracting into his body, and he thinks that this is going to be the cause of death. So this is 100% real. It's a real psychiatric phenomenon, culture-bound syndrome. It's called Koro. So Koro is derived from the Malay word, which is actually kind of funny, meaning turtle's head.
That's good.
Yeah. It refers to a psychological disorder primarily seen in parts of Asia, in which individuals are convinced that their genitalia, most commonly the penis, though like cases involving the vulva or nipples have also been reported,
Yeah.
is shrinking, retracting, or even disappearing into the body.
Most common in Asian cultures. When it's
Yeah.
those get me too. When things are like really specific to certain cultures, I find it so fascinating. It's like, how? Why did it like stop there? Or why do you only see it here and not over there? Like, it's so weird to me.
Well, maybe we'll get into it.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, fun.
Yeah, we're doing really good at just like segueing each other today.
I know, without even trying. It's great.
Yeah. So what's more is that they also believe that this leads to death.
Oh,
So in the midst of this belief, some people might resort to tying strings around themselves, holding onto their genitals. Some people like even
wait,
weigh
wait,
them.
wait, wait. Like tying strings around their genitals?
Yeah, to like weigh it down because they think it's like retracting, and so they'll, weigh them. They will try to like anchor them to their body in place. This can get so out of hand that it sometimes affects entire villages and communities in what's called Koro epidemics.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay. When I go to Folsom Street Fair in San Francisco, wonderful if you haven't been, be prepared. There is this, what I have seen multiple people do, and I've heard is like some people are really into it, is they put weights on like above their ball sack. And
Yeah.
it slowly starts to droop and stretch their ball sack, and it takes like more and more weight. It almost reminds me of those
Mm.
women from certain African cultures that stretch their neck. They essentially do this with weights on their balls. And like I've seen people's balls hanging down to their knees. And yeah, some people are very into it. I don't know if I'm not assuming it is because they have Koro, but I am curious. Do you know if that originates from this concept of weighing down because of things like Koro?
I don't consider them to be like related
Okay.
because I also know like a lot of like African countries or African societies, cultures
Yeah.
where they do they do that. They like
Oh, yeah,
tie.
yes, and this is cross-cultural, I
Yeah,
believe. Yeah.
yeah. They
Oh,
do
but I
way
was just wondering if that, like,
just because
originates.
like that's the attractive thing in that culture is to have something, it's like we have when you kind of like
Oh,
size up your earlobes, yeah, gauges, you have neck stretching, same thing. If you can stretch it, then why not?
why not?
Yeah, I don't know if like there's any like a relation there between Koro and this
Okay.
because this seems to be culture bound to Asia. But yeah, I mean if it works, it works, I guess.
Whoa.
Anyways, so since we're therapists, we're trying to look kind of beyond the surface. Koro is more than a bodily delusion. It's a window into the human psyche, shaped by culture, shame, and anxiety. Koro often emerges in places where there are strong taboos around sexuality, masculinity, or spiritual purity. In some Chinese medicine beliefs, for example, the body's energy, its qi, can be lost through semen. A perceived retraction of the genitals might feel like a spiritual death sentence to them, right? Here in the West, Koro is considered a part of the spectrum of body dysmorphic disorders or
Mhm.
somatic symptoms disorders. Again, crazy tying into last week, where these are things like body dysmorphia, somatic symptom disorders. These are things that we actually work with. We can work with quite often. So
Mhm.
while like Koro or what we were talking about last week, Cotard syndrome is by themselves, you think about like, wow, these must be like really rare. We never get them here. But like they belong to a spectrum of disorders that we regularly treat.
Yeah.
And so this is why I think it's such another cool reason about being a sex therapist is that we often get stuff that might be a little bit more common than you think, but because we're a little bit more trained or comfortable to ask the questions no one else is asking, like the turns that our cases take, there's never a dull day in
No.
the office for me. Yeah. But in its cultural context, it's something much deeper. So it's like a collective fear, it's internalized shame. And so you might be wondering, does this actually happen in the West?
I think
Yes.
it does. Yeah.
Though rare, there have been cases of Koro reported globally, including the United States, often tied to anxiety, psychosis, and, sadly, I think this makes more sense, drug induced states.
Mm.
So in these cases, cultural context shifts, but the fear remains pretty potent. And so I actually looked up a study. So this is a study that was published back in 2001 called Cannabis Induced Koro in Americans.
Mm.
And so it was the design. They were trying to figure out just what are some of the symptoms or what are just some what I don't know why I can't figure out that word. Is it symptoms? Just what happens when people are like high as shit. And in this study, they did have a couple of cases. So three out of it ended up being like a 70 man person responded, like 70 men responded to this report.
Mhm.
Three of them actually spontaneously mentioned experiencing symptoms of Koro when smoking weed.
Wow. Does that
Yeah.
mean it goes away when they're not high anymore?
I'm sure like once they go high, like so many things that they saw, they realized were not real. And so like I don't know how truly or authentically connected these two are. I think Koros maybe then used more kind of descriptorily rather than like definitively, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
This is not a legitimate case of Koro, but I mean the symptoms still line up. But yeah, don't do drugs.
I
So
mean, I think weed might have other benefits, but I don't know if I'd call that drugs. Like
pros and
drugs.
cons,
Little D drugs, and there's like big D drugs.
and
Yeah.
there's drugs that make your D shrink.
And
Apparently,
oh, that was good. That was good. Oh, that no. All right, keep going. That was great.
so what do we as mental health professionals do? There's an epidemic. Our balls are shrinking.
There's,
Okay.
and we don't want shrunken balls. We all know we want big balls.
Okay.
Wait, can I give
uh,
an aside really quick?
sure.
When you were talking about Koro and like just the man clutching his balls, I just think everyone needs to know how two friends, two, I have had to rush to the hospital because they literally think something in their ball sack like exploded. Like I've heard it's a crazy pain, and it's that the cord essentially that like the two balls are on, one
Oh yeah, yeah.
flip over the other one. Two friends. And it's not like they were doing anything crazy. One guy I think was sleeping. My other friend, I don't know what he was doing, but he called us and we had to go get him. But it was nothing wild. It was like the very normal movements. And one ball goes over the other ball and has to be like flipped back. And I have heard it's so incredibly painful. So for what it's worth, just so many different things, psychological, medical, can happen with your balls. Koro's more common than you think. One ball flipping over the other ball. In my limited experience and from the data I'm using, the fact that I've just had to rush 2 people to the hospital for this makes me feel like this happens more than people think.
Yeah, man. You're hearing it from 2 sex therapists. Take care of your balls.
Take care of your balls. You and your partner will both be very happy about it.
Yeah. So what do we do? Number one is assessment. And as part of our assessment, if someone is coming in, it is important for us to take like a cultural context, right? You want to understand if the client is coming from a culture where Koro is actually known or stigmatized, because this might be something on their mind. I think that this is often kind of forgotten or just underappreciated in the United States and I guess we can only really speak about like California. But yeah, like how many times I'm talking to other therapists and they're telling me about things and it's like, you guys are not taking into account that person's like cultural background or religious background or just like societal ideas. Like, no, that's not what you're seeing. Ask this question, come back to me. And then they ask the question, and then we'll have a consultation to be like, oh, Danny, yeah, it was completely different. So understanding their culture and where their ideas are coming from, I think are really important. It also says that psychoeducation is something that we really want to help them with. And again, like as sex therapists, I think this is something that we might be a little bit more uniquely capable of helping with, because we should be teaching them, the physiological reality of the body, how stress and anxiety can trigger somatic symptoms. You also want to normalize anxiety and fear as treatable symptoms. CBT is noted to kind of help by challenging the irrational beliefs, as well as exposure and response prevention techniques can help them manage that kind of like obsessive checking. We also have anxiety management, systemic or family therapy. So if the family beliefs or pressures are reinforcing the delusion, involving family members in the treatment. So I imagine like if, again, if they are like just an Asian family and they're all kind of talking about this, then I'm pretty sure that that just kind of like freaks people out even more. But
I
yeah,
feel like this is one that, the more I don't know if there's a term for this where, like, if people never heard about this, I think people would still have it. But I could see how if it's something that's like not constantly talked about, but if you kind of know it's out there and you've seen it or people can have it, I wonder if people are maybe more likely to have.
for sure. I mean, that, yes, right? You have like a real example that happens here, and that is just our preoccupation with penis size, like in men, and then preoccupation with breast size in women, right? You see one dude that is just carrying around a fire hydrant, a hose, and all of a sudden everyone just looks at theirs and they think it's shorter, right? You go out on a cold day and shit, Coro's real. Like that shit shrinks. Okay. And so, like, yeah, I
That's no
imagine,
longer a mental health disorder. That's a reality.
yeah. And so I imagine that with our preoccupation with, like our genitals and genitalia, that, yeah, if one person is talking some nonsense, if one person is really kind of, in their head, anxiety is just running, and they say one thing to another person who just has a little bit of internalized shame, guilt, fear, fill in the blank, then yeah, this could spread.
That is crazy. All of these are like, I just couldn't imagine. There's the one, I forget the name of it, where this is not a psychological, this is like medical, I believe, but where people have orgasms like a bajillion times a day. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like debilitating. They can't hold jobs, they can't drive. I mean, it's like you constantly are having orgasms. It's exhausting. Like, I just couldn't, there's so many like odd things out there. That's like, I couldn't even imagine
Yeah.
feeling like your genitalia is shrinking inside of you and will kill you. Like, what? I stand by the fact that if 2 doctors, I mean, I'm sure there is a podcast where 2 doctors do this exact same kind of thing, theirs must be wildly insane. But, and like, I couldn't even listen to it. It'd be so gross, I bet. But like, crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what we got for you today.
This is such a good segment. So good. Look into aliens, take care of your balls,
And your brain.
and your brain, balls and brain, protect
Yep.
everything with a B and a
Mm.
T, your dick, and drugs. And watch out for alien hand. It'll get you.
Okay, I guess I'll see you next week.
Bye, Dan. This was great.